Okay, so this is pre-recorded, and this is actually being recorded during Hurricane Sandy. As you can see, I have some footage here that I recorded earlier. This is before the storm started. But right about now, the storm is actually starting, so I'm doing a game review during Hurricane Sandy. And as you can see here, we have the famous Japanese Sega Saturn. And as you can see here, we have the famous 3D Sega Saturn controller. Oh yeah, it's a sexy controller. Check this out. That's the shoulder buttons, has that little joystick right there. Not so little. It works very nice. This is essentially a wonderful controller. And we're going to be playing a little TNN Hardcore 4x4 Racing, aka Deka 4WD Yonku, Tough the Truck, in Japanese, just so you know. That's what they named it. And we're going to check this game out. So there wasn't too many off-road games back then. This is probably one of the few on Sega Saturn, if not the only one. So let's check it out. And here we go. We will be playing TNN Hardcore 4x4 Truck Racing, aka Deka 4WD Yonku Tough the Truck, in Japanese. This is the Japanese version, by the way. So there is no TNN license, but you can see right there they do mention TNN in fine print. As you can see, this is the intro. Human Entertainment. And we're waiting for the game to start. And here's another introduction. Now, this is one of the few American games that I own in Japanese. What do you know? This is actually a game that was made in America, but I have it in Japanese for some damn reason. I don't know why, but well, let's check it out. Now, I'm a fan of racing games, so I'm pretty much a sucker to any racing game there is. I'll give it a try at least once. As you can see here, there's just the menu, like the options. Now, I prefer to have the steering sensitivity down low because it's more realistic to me. Now, this utilizes the 3D controller. You can actually use the joystick and everything, so if you want to, you can use the shoulder buttons as the acceleration, but I'm going to leave it alone just the way it is. This gives you an idea of how you can play the game. Alright, so let's get inside the game real quick. As you can see here, there's a few. Before you even play the game, there's a lot of configurations you can do. Like, for example, right here, you can choose what truck you want to drive. And I believe this game came out in 96 or 97, so you know, given it that the game is that old, the truck models actually look pretty good. And then here you can actually choose your racing type. You can do championship mode or a single race, automatic or manual right here. Just choose what track you want. I'm just going to choose one real quick so I can show you guys. There's a lot of different terrain like snow and stuff. So sand, just like a forest. There's different classes you can choose also. And weather conditions, which is also a plus in the game, which might affect how you drive. So we're gonna start the game. See how this game plays. I really didn't play this game that much. I own so many Sega Saturn games. But, you know, since I'm gonna be stuck here for a little while, thanks to Hurricane Sandy, we will be checking out a few Sega Saturn games. Hopefully the power doesn't go out.
The tension is building.
Let's go see here.
Who's got the courage to be king of the forest?
Okay. Right away, that commentary, it reminds me of another game. It reminds me of Monster Truck Madness on Windows 95 or Windows 98, whichever one you had back then. But it sounded very similar, and it actually looks pretty similar. Except this is not free roaming. I can tell right now it does have like a track that you can only stay on the track. You can't go off the track. Not like Midtown Monster Truck Madness. I mean, the controls are a little funny. The graphics. The rain effects look really crappy, and the graphics really don't look the greatest, but you know, this game came out in 97, 96, around that time, so yeah, what the hell, you know? The gameplay itself is actually not bad, it's just the controls. It seems a little glitchy, just a little bit.
You're going the wrong
As you
way.
see, I'm driving the wrong way. There's probably a way you can reverse, of course, but I'm not a master at this game yet. See right there, that was kind of glitchy. You know, the truck models. You know what? I noticed that when your truck is the only one on screen, the frame rate actually improves. So the game does have a frame rate issue when you have more than one truck on the screen. If I can catch up to a few other trucks, you'll see that the frame rate will probably go down a little bit. That rain effect is very ugly. It's grainy looking. See right there, that was kind of glitchy. Well, as glitchy as the game is, it's somewhat playable, for as I can see here. I do notice that driving on the dirt terrain, sometimes you can see like mud kicking up in the air on certain parts. And it actually looks pretty nice. The textures on the ground, I'm not going to complain about that. It actually looks pretty good for back then. Let's see how badass my truck is. I'm going to climb up this steep hill. Yeah, that's right. Kiss my ass. Alright, so here we go. By the way, I do own a truck. I own a Ford Ranger. A 1994 Ford Ranger. The only complaint I have about the truck is it's not four-wheel drive. But it's a wonderful truck though, it still works perfect. And it's forest green, so it's a nice old ass truck. No, I kind of like this portion of the track where you can actually run over all that terrain that's actually not flat. It's like rocky. You can actually see your truck. It seems somewhat realistic to a certain extent. So there is, so far, what I noticed, there's portions of this game that I do enjoy and I do like. But we're going to check something out, so let's check it out, another track or another truck or something. Because I happen to notice that the game gets boring after a while. Nonetheless, it was actually fun playing it though. At least that portion of it was actually fun. Let's see if we can let's choose another truck. See, I like this one. I'm not sure what the hell that is. I guess they didn't have any license to Ford or Chevy or whatever, Dodge. Yeah, let's make that ugly rain, let's make it go away, because that rain was very, very ugly. Possibly the most ugliest rain ever in a video game. That was terrible looking rain. I've never seen any rain that looked like that before.
These 4x4 trucks are the toughest trucks man can build, and they're built to race the toughest terrain on the planet.
Alright. No, as I mentioned before, once you have a lot of trucks on screen, you can see the frame rate drops. As you can see, the frame rate is going to pick up a little bit more, and now we'll see. Now it's only your truck, the frame rate picks up. Now this track appears to be like a canyon type of ordeal. Well, I have to say the textures actually look pretty damn good for back then. See, the controls are really... I'm just gonna say that the controls are sloppy. So you can't really tell sometimes where you're turning or where the hell you're supposed to go. That's another little flaw about the game. So you can accidentally turn in the wrong direction, and all of a sudden your truck spins out of nowhere. Doesn't even make any damn sense. So, for example, here you really can't tell where the hell you're going until it's like right in front of you. So it's very easily to like drive off to the wrong direction, and it will spin your truck or cause your truck to have a glitch. Sometimes the glitch work in a positive way where you can actually end up like right now I'm stuck. I'm gonna figure out how to go in reverse. So if you go in reverse, you have to hold down 2 buttons, which is odd. So the textures look okay in the game, but The only problem I really have is when I'm driving, you really can't tell if you can turn this way or that way because the game is actually locked onto one track. You can't go off-road. What a coincidence. This game is about off-roading and you can't go off-road, so what the hell? You can only off-road on the track. So it is very confusing, like right here. Yeah, you see right there, I thought I was supposed to go up that little hill, but I was supposed to take a left instead. So that threw me off a little bit. Well, it's safe to assume that this game is not the greatest racing game. But it does have its fun qualities. Where if you do enjoy trucks and off-roading and the Sega Saturn, then you probably will find it necessary to pick this game up for a couple of dollars and, you know, just play it for fun. It's basically what I did. Because, number one, I like trucks. I like my Sega Saturn and I like racing games, so hey. I had a feeling that the game wasn't going to be the greatest because, you know, I never paid attention to it that much, and I'm sure if it was great, then there would be a lot of people speaking about it, but I bought it, I gave it a try. Not the greatest, but still fun in its own way. It's a novelty racing game, a very crappy one. It's basically up to you. You know, it's not for everybody. That's all I can say. If you pick it up for a cheap price, then there's absolutely nothing wrong with owning it.
Too bad. Try again.